Hi everybody, good afternoon. Wherever you're watching from, you're welcome to the channel. Let's talk, let's have a little discussion. I'd like to know where you're watching from. This is Bristol Line, and a YouTuber from Nigeria. I hope you can hear me very well. There's noise at the background, so we're gonna talk a lot today, guys. But I want you to be a little bit kind of interacting. I want you to make your own contribution if you have what to say on the above topics, so it will really be welcome. That's the neighborhood I live in. We have so many roosters, we have so many chickens, we have so many animals. As a matter of fact, to all the Muslim Umars, to all the Muslims around the world, happy Salah to you. Happy Salah to you. I hope you have a wonderful celebration. Have a great celebration. So today I'm going to talk about why it is not a good idea for a ground invasion in Iran. The reason why a ground invasion, that's a ground combat, the forces to invade Iran through the ground, and why it's not a good idea. And I'm going to call it, I'll give you reasons why it's not a good idea, a not too good idea, because Iran is of the advantage over, call it, the invading forces. So before then, let me know where you're watching from. Make sure you like this live, and as well subscribe to the channel. Or if you coming on for the first time, you're highly welcome to the channel. You're welcome to the channel. Subscribe. Let me know where you're watching from. Tell me hello, tell me hi, like the live so it can get to others, so people will join us. So please like the live, guys. Let's start. Like the live, subscribe if it's your first time. This is Pro Storyline. Like the live and subscribe if it's your first time. But even if you're like a returning subscriber, I have to like this live so that it can be pushed, or the algorithm be pushed to others to come up and then share the same thoughts, okay, on this very topic I'm about to discuss. Currently, guys, Nigeria is pretty, like, the weather condition is we're having this extreme heat. So it's hot. That's why I'm outside. You may not really, my phone is somehow, the lens is not that good, so I'm just managing. I don't care. I'm just managing the phone, so just bear with me. You may not really see my face that clearly much, but just bear with me. Let's have this conversation. So, ground invasion, okay, in Iran is actually possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's actually very possible, but it will be very risky. Very risky. I'm hearing ever since the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, they've been trying to talk to Iran to open, but so far so good. I think they're responding to, call it, neutral parties at the war, and those that are, they're like, okay, they're gonna open to people that are neutral in the war, and as well people that are countries, that will expel the U.S. and Israeli ambassadors. Good afternoon, sir. Which is is not really a very good diplomatic thing to do. So there's one in the Middle East, and currently I think it's been, for the past 2 weeks, been like an air kind of bombardment, like air combat. All through, we've been seeing what is going on. Air combat, they're using different kinds of bombs, different kinds of missiles, things we never heard of. As a matter of fact, I call this war of technology, because the kind of technological advancement in weaponry that we've seen in the past 2 years is something that is even leaving some of us with how much more do they have? What kind do they have? It's not even about the subject of somebody having call it nuclear weapon. We've seen a whole lot: cluster bombs, hypersonic missiles, things we never heard of. We've seen in this war. So now, because of how destructive and the retaliatory kind of attack Iran have mated on the enemies, I think the enemy is considering a grand invasion. As a matter of fact, I learned as of yesterday that the United States sent about, is it 2,000 or 2,500 ground troops. So I don't think that's a very good idea, because at the end of the day, it's very, very risky. So I'm going to tell you why ground invasion or combat Iran is not a good idea. I hope you listen and make your contribution. Meanwhile, guys, I haven't seen any like. So I'm not gonna start it without hearing a like from you guys. But I'll commence by saying that war is not a good thing. Please, I want to use this medium to tell. Thank you so much for that like. Please, some other person should do same. I want to use this medium to tell world leaders. This is my way, call it my contribution. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chukudi. Thank you so much, Chukudi. Please, I need more. I need more, not just. I need more. Parliaments, I believe people from different regions of the world are watching me right now. I want to use this medium to tell you, please, if you're a leader, you find yourself in an elected position, even an appointed position, an advisory position in your country, make sure that when it comes to conflict resolution, what should be the list of options, because of the destructive nature it comes with, because of the aftermath effect, which is always very disastrous, very catastrophic. It comes with. Make sure that it should be the last thing. Let's always try to employ other options of resolving conflicts. All right, because at the end of the day, it's the common people that suffers. Common people that suffer. It's not even the people that initiated the war that will suffer. It's a very common happening that the war affects. So on that note, let me start by saying that the ground invasion of Iran is actually possible, but very, very risky. All right, the full ground invasion of Iran is actually very possible. It comes with a cost. All right, a number of risks. So it will be to the Iranian forces, like it will be of great advantage to the Iranian forces, and that the reason is that Iran is like a fortress. Naturally, it's like a fortress, like a natural fortress. They have mountains. They have, some cities are deep inland, high up there. So it's very difficult for like an invader, all right, to come in and not get ambushed. So Iran is basically a natural fortress. The country sits on huge elevated plateaus surrounded by barriers. We have great mountains like Iran. All right, in the western part of Iran, we have mountains. In the north, we have deserts. North, we have these huge mountains. What's the name of those mountains? Zagros Mountain and the Albos Mountain. They're like very high up here. So these major cities like inside these mountains. But for you to an external force to come in, you have to like pass that mountain, and it's a very predictable route. Okay, it's a very predictable route for call it Iranian forces to ambush whoever that is coming in to attack them. So geography really kind of favors the Iranian. call it the Iranian military or the Iranian people. It really, for you to come in, you have to pass through before you be able. And being that they know the environment very well, they know how to get you. They know how to take whoever that is coming out. They know how to go about to block the probably the main the entry point. You will just find yourself in between the mountains, and then they will get you. So it's not a good idea to invade Iran because geographically they are of advantage. So apart from the the mountain thing, the Bose mountain and the Gross mountain, okay. Apart from that, Iran is the center of Iran is these days. You know how deserts are. Like that, I've been in the desert area. I know how dry, how sunny, how hot, how like life. It won't be very nice, especially when you are a foreigner in a land. Like sending you go fight, and then you find yourself in one desert. Like central part of Iran is like a desert. For you coming in, the heat of the sun, the dryness, and everything will make it very difficult for external forces to survive. And secondly, call it military movements or logistical movements will be a little bit difficult to, be taken from one place to the other in the central part. So again, geography favors the Iranian territory when it comes to a ground invasion. So any forces that wants to like come in is going to experience difficulty, and the risk ambushment. It's just crazy, guys. So you want to go to the south, as the north and the west. I've talked about the north and the west, which is where they have the mountains. Then you come to the central part of the country of Iran, they have desert. Now you want to go down to the south. Let's just assume whoever that is coming to invade Iran is going to or wants to invade through the south. The south is being encompassed or surrounded by water. And the funniest part of the matter is that this water are not really like there are mountains, and then there are these narrow rivers, narrow water routes that if you want to pass through, okay, you have to like make your way across the mountain and then pass. And for you to come, don't forget, this is war, this is conflict. The Iranian forces are not gonna just watch you come in. They're going to wait for you to come. Like we heard the their foreign minister said, we are waiting for them. So you know what that means? They'll be waiting for you. And you know what that means? It's ambushment. Definitely, like, you're gonna get ambushed. So it's not even okay. Like currently, they've closed the Straits of Hormuz. Almost getting to a week or more. Almost getting to a week or more. And the whole economy, the world economy is like this, is being choked because the Strait of Hormuz is where 20% of global oil is being transported across, is being taken from, the Middle Eastern area to other parts of the world. For Iran held that place closed. Why is that possible? Because it's a narrow, call it a narrow route, a narrow waterway that can be closed, that can be mined. As a result of, as a matter of fact, Iranian officials say that place has been mined. That's they've plenty boats that place could be blown up, risk being blown up because this is war. Hi, say hi, how are you? I'm fine. I remember you very well, my friend from India. You're welcome to the live. Please, guys, like the live. I'm not saying no likes. Why? I'm not saying no likes. Why? Please like the live. 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 I'm having only one like. I need another like, guys, before I I go on. I need another like. All in all, like the natural element, okay, the natural elements will make it very hard for invading forces, okay, to successfully conquer Iraq. It's not easy. Iran, rather. It won't be that easy for them to just come in because of the natural, call it, element that is making it a little bit difficult for them. It won't be easy for them to come and then conquer and then just go. Say my name. I can't remember your. Is it Karason? No, it's not Karason. I've forgotten your name. Can you remind me of your name? My Indian friend, remind me of your name. I forgot it a little while. All right. I can't remember your name. Remind me of your name, please. So, what's a narrow seas route in the south? This combined natural elements can conquer Iran. Massive mountains walls block entry. I talked about the Zagros mountain in the west, Albos mountain in the north. This mountain, all right, guys, it stretches for up to call it between 100 and 1,000 kilometers, which will force the invading armies to look for a narrow passage, which could be a checkpoint. Okay, which could be a checkpoint. At the end of the day, you're going to be ambushed. So it's not a good idea to invade Iraq. Iran. I keep saying Iran. Iran at the moment. Ground invasion, ground thing is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. It's very risky for the invading forces because of the natural elements, the mountains, the sea, the narrow seas, the desert. It's very risky, guys. So please, if it's possible, let's try to put an end to this war. Let's swallow our pride and then put an end to this war, if it's possible. See, you forgot me. I don't think I forgot your name, but that doesn't mean I've forgotten you. Okay. So I said massive mountains will block entry. Zagros mountain in the west and as well Albos mountain in the north stretches 400 to 1,000 kilometers, forcing armies into narrow passes, or we call it checkpoints, which those checkpoints could be a place of ambushment. It gives defenders the high ground that will give the Iraq forces, Iranian forces, guys. I'm sorry, it's Iranian forces advantage. In other words, Iranian forces will be forced into moving in predictable routes. So when it's like that, when you do have mountains you can't cross, it's a natural element. You may be forced to pass through the only route that is available. And don't forget, this is war. Definitely these guys will be hanging around and be waiting for you, according to their foreign minister, will be around and be waiting for you to come and pass. And that means that they're going to be a lot of carnages, which is not what we want. So ground invasion or combat in Iran is not a good idea. That's one of the reasons. All right. I talked about the desert. The desert route makes it nearly impossible because, number one, if the invading forces avoid entry through the mountains, for instance, let's say the United States forces or the Israeli forces avoid the mountainous region, to enter or to invade Iran, and then they choose to go through the desert. They will hit what they call Lut. That's a desert. It's a desert. Definitely, we know it's a very dry place and very hot. So they will this desert, Ashut and Cafe desert. These deserts are extremely hot and dry and difficult for vehicular movement and as well as logistics. So for you to move a huge number of armies across these desert is very, it will be a nightmare. it will be a nightmare because you don't know who is hiding on top of mountains. You don't know who is hiding in caves. You don't know who is hiding somewhere in between mountains for you. So it's not a good idea, guys. So ground invasion in Iran is not a too good idea. Let it be discouraged. Let it be discouraged. Let whoever that is responsible in giving commands discourage this. It's not a good idea. Alright guys, let's move to the next one. Okay, let's say you don't want the forces don't want to pass through the north and the west where they have the mountains, and doesn't want to pass through the central parts of Iran. Okay, now they move it to the south. Remember I told you that the southern parts of Iran is a coastal area. They have coast. That's the invading forces wants to pass through that part of the country. The south coast of Iran is rugged and you can't just land because behind the coast are hills and mountains, and access is through the Straits of Hormuz. We've heard about the Straits of Hormuz. Everybody, if you've been listening, following the news, you must hear about the Straits of Hormuz, which is narrow and easy to block or mine, thereby making the invasion very risky to the invading forces. So let's say the invading forces wants to take through the southern parts of the country, which is the coast, call it the coastal area of Iran. We heard about the Strait of Hormuz. Like, they are narrow water bodies, in the south. The water bodies are, like in between mountains, you have water flowing, call it maybe a stream or a river passing through it. And then you want to you want to land from that angle. What makes you think that they've not stationed, or the Iranian forces have not stationed their military or their forces to wait for you, like the foreign minister said? So it's also a very, everything geographically favors Iranian forces. So any intruder that wants to come in, you want to come through the mountain, the north, the south, everything favors them. So it's not a good idea to invade. The Strait of Hormuz have been blocked for more than a week, and everybody's like, oh, I can't go there, I can't go there, because they know the implications. That place have been laced with mine, and if any ship or vessel steps on it, is going to get blown away, and that's going to be an economic loss to whoever that wanted to cross, or the country that wanted crossing. It's not a good thing. Equally, this is going to affect the supplies, the long, vulnerable supply lanes. Remember, this is war. At some point, what we do in war is to destroy. We shoot our bullets, we fly, fly our drones, we make deliveries. At some point, you'll be running short of ammunition, and you will need supplies. So the territory of Iran doesn't really favor that. You want to go through, it doesn't favor. So it will be of risk, because at some point the invading forces may run out of supply, military supply, and they will need, reimbursement or resupply. It will take longer time, and the risk being whoever is going to supply might end up being bombed, might end up being killed, might end up being ambushed. So it's not a good idea. All in all, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. So I hope we understand. Whoever that is, don't do that thing. How are you? Whoever that is, encouraging, everybody's like, oh, do this. We should just sit back and then think about the losses and the implications of this war. Because to me, I've said this over and over again, that this wasn't a war that's supposed to have been. This war wasn't a war that it shouldn't be, how they put it, it shouldn't have been a priority. The fact that you perceive somebody as a threat without, that's an assumption per se. I call it, it's an assumption. You just assume, oh, this person is a threat, or is something that could wipe off the whole region, or is a threat to your country, without actually confirming if truly this person is a threat. And secondly, when you're already on the table of talks, and the perceived enemy is like, okay, I'm going to get rid of certain things that you find threatening to you, and all of the sudden you flip the table and attack. I think it's a very condemnable act. I don't think it's a good thing, because if we want to switch the table this way, and the same thing is being done to whoever that started the attack, I don't think they will like it. I don't think they will like it. So the truth is that the geography of Iran favors them. They have an advantage against their enemies, invading forces. Countries that want to send in their forces should really have a rethink about it. Should really make calculations on it and see if it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you guys that there's going to be bloodbath if this continues. If they venture into grand invasion of Iran, there's going to be bloodbath, and Iranians are going to be of advantage against the invading forces. All right. So let me just conclude by saying that a grand invasion of Iran is not a good idea, because it would be militarily difficult. All right. And extremely expensive in lives and resources. Yes, it's going to be very expensive in lives and because remember, the Iranians, they understand their terrain, they know their environment very well. So you that is coming as a foreigner to fight, you don't know the environment that much. They can shoot, they can stay in caves, and then as you're landing or parachuted down, they will just fire you. All right, they know the environment very well. That's why if you watch the interview with ABC News anchor, he was interviewing the foreign minister of Iran, and when they asked him, there's a boots on the ground campaign, that President Trump just announced. Are you afraid? How are you gonna tackle this situation? The man smiled, this wicked smile. Just, we are waiting for them, with full chest and confidence. And when a country, let me not even use a country, let me even not use a country. When a child, let's say a child, it's a young teenage child, goes to school, and other student bullies him every time, he will be afraid, okay? But at some point, if the bullying continues, he will start making plans on how to fight back. It may take years, but definitely one day he's going to fight back. And when he wants to fight back, he will fight back with his whole soul. He will fight back with his whole soul, just to prove a point that you can't just bully me and then make me scared every time. I have to break this barrier. I have to break this. And obviously, I will say this, that, I'm sorry to say, I love American people. I love Americans. I used to love President Trump, but the decision he has made in this, call it between November and now, is not a good, it's not too, how do I put it, it's not good decisions. For instance, the first one, we started taking a sitting president of a country, Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela. I didn't see that, because number one, you're the president of the United States. You're not the president of the world. Yeah, I understand the United States is the chief policeman of the world. Everything should be done with what they call rules of engagement. When it comes to international politics or international relations, there are principles. There are ways in which countries relate or things with each other. You don't just wake up and then make decisions on behalf of your country or on behalf of the United Nations. Okay, international law was broken with that very action. And now, without consent of your country's Congress, without approval for this war, when and then tallied with Israel and an attack, killing how many children? And according to what the news are saying, some people are saying, they said the school girls in Iran that were attacked were the very elementary school was an elementary school that most of the kids were Iranian officials' children, girl children. And imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's a very terrible thing. It's not okay that someone will just wake up and take a decision. You have to like consider the positive, the negative, and you can't be a bully for life. And obviously, this will have really exposed American, call it, I wouldn't say American because America is a great country. I would say President Trump weaknesses as just, I would say, okay, he's a bully, but he doesn't really have that, he can't sustain the bullying. He can't really sustain it. He can't sustain the bullying to the end. He's trying his best. He's doing what he can do, but I think what he got from Iran is not what he expected. As a matter of fact, all of us, when they invaded Iran, everybody went, oh yeah, we're happy, we're happy. But what he's getting is not what they thought it's going to be. They just thought, okay, we'll just take out the supreme leader, that's it, and the country will be conquered, we'll take over the oil. Because if you don't have oil, nobody, you have no value in this world. As a country, we don't have the natural, very expensive natural resources. All these war powers won't come to you. They won't end good. They won't come fighting battles trying to say, oh, we're trying to save you. So the initial plan was to, okay, we'll remove the Ayatollah regime and then put in whoever we feel like putting, and then take over whatever we can take. But it's not like that. They are not zombies. They are not puppets that you can just ping with remote and then they will do as you say. These are adults. These are people. Imagine not just killing, I wouldn't say this. Alan's wife was as well killed. Child, his son-in-law, the daughter. And now the regime change now that you wanted to install is not what is still a replacement. The son of this man is the one coming on. And what do you think is going to happen? The very fact that it's a natural thing that you killed my father, killed my mom, my wife, my daughter, and the leader of my country. What do you think I would do? What do you think I would do? I'll try to revenge for the death of my loved ones. It's very nice thing to do. So I think the aim of this war is not achieved. It's a very miscalculated kind of war. The consequences, or call it the cost of this war, wasn't weighted up because I believe with the rate which Iran have destroyed American assets, had it been they had a clue, the president, people in departments of war had a clue that this is going to happen, I don't think they would have ventured. They would have just said, Israel, look for another way, or else just forget about the war. I don't think they would have. They would have. This is a total mess of a war. A total mess of a war. I learned there's this oil facility in Qatar that have just been destroyed. I don't know, I can't, something Paris, that have been destroyed. President Trump came saying, oh, he doesn't have, in America never had an idea, okay? America never had an idea that of this attack. It's everything was in Israel. You see, that means indirectly it's tired because he knows exactly what Iran is capable of. He knows Iran can equally, attack other American assets still in the Gulf region, or by extension other places. They find it will hit them. And as a result of this war, we've seen how even when in Africa, none of the African countries are involved in this war. No African countries in this war by supporting or anything. There's nothing like that. But the effect of this thing is affecting us right here in Africa. It's affecting us right here in Africa. The petroleum product we used to buy, it was already hitting us very, like, economically. We've been struggling in Nigeria, and this war again, it's rising the prices of petroleum products, and we know energy drives the economy of Nigeria. There's nothing you want to do that you wouldn't need energy. When it's like this, everything skyrockets. Prices of goods, prices of services, everything goes up. And it's affecting the very, 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 very common people. And that's why I said this war was not something that's supposed to be. It shouldn't have been. And ground invasion, okay, the ground invasion of Iran would be a disaster because geographically or naturally, Iranian call it environment is like a fortress, mountainous. Everything favors them. They know their environment very well. The forces that are coming in are going to risk ambushment and killings. So I don't think it's a good idea. Everything we can do, call it the world leaders, people that are in position to talk to the warring parties to retreat and end this war, should do so, because it's not making any sense anymore. It's going to get more bloody. It's going to get more disastrous. It's going to get more economically devastating. There's no point. Already the destruction cost is going to take years, more than decades to build. The recent bombardment of oil facility, LNG facility in Qatar by Iran, as a result of what they did to them, is going to take, like, according to reports, it's going to take up to 10 years. 10 years to fix that facility back. And we know the cost of that. We know how expensive that's going to be. We know the amount that's going to take. Please. I'm just begging, please, get this person to, call both parties to order, a retreat, a peace pact be made. Let it be done. Let's not escalate this. So already it has, militarized the whole region. What started like between just 3 parties is now engulfing the whole of the Middle East. I saw this thing yesterday. What's his name? Is it the president or the prime minister of Japan a lady went to visit President Trump, and she asked a very valid, beautiful question. Okay, fine. You asked for our help, the Straits of Hormuz. How come that when you wanted to start this war, you never informed any of your allies? You didn't tell anybody, okay, something like this on the ground. We want to go fight these people, perceive them as enemies. We perceive them as they are into nuclear program, which we see as a threat to world peace. With your allies, that because there's an adage in my place that says 2 heads are better. It's even in the Bible. 2 heads are better than one. So, Adibin, you brought this very topic. Okay, I'm perceiving Iran as a threat to the United States. I'm perceiving Iran as a threat to the world, as a threat to the Gulf region, and I want to do this to Iran. One or two other leaders representing their countries would have said, no, try this option, try this diplomat option, try this negotiating option. Meanwhile, they were still on negotiation when this whole mess started. There would have been advisors, people bringing ideas, reasonable ideas that would have curbed this mess that we're finding ourselves. But when the woman asked, he wanted to surprise. He wanted to surprise. And the surprise is too expensive. It's to the disadvantage of American people, American taxpayers. It's to the disadvantage of the world economy. Everybody's suffering. Everybody's suffering. Countries of the world, their leaders are trying to see ways in which they can help their citizens not to spend so much on call it petroleum products. Some are like, suggesting remote working from home, maybe come to work once in a day or two a week. As a result of your decision, how come you didn't consult? You say you want to surprise. We don't need surprises. This is international relations. We don't need surprises. Not your surprises to the detriment of the world. You listen to the president say something like, we're going to go to Cuba. The next, we're going to enter Cuba, and then I'll do whatever I will. Like, personalize it. I will do whatever I want to do with Cuba. It has never been heard of. It's acting like a tyrant, like an emperor of the world. And I said one time when he entered Venezuela, when he invaded Venezuela, I said, this thing that he's doing is like a new trend. A trend where superpowers of the world, powerful countries like Russia, China, probably North Korea, can just wake up any day. They'll just wake up any day and they enter any country and do whatever they like and then go back. Nothing would happen. Because definitely, after all, Donald Trump entered Venezuela and then kidnapped a sitting president and the wife. And in the process, civilians were killed. Do you understand? So it's like a new trend. And if something is not done about it, it's going to become a problem. And this makes me question the United Nations. What is the usefulness of the United Nations? What is the United Nations doing? Because the United Nations was set, I think, 1945, after the Second World War, to maintain international peace, to maintain prosperity among nation states, member states, to maintain peaceful coexisting or coexistence between countries of the world. And if there's a case of, call it conflict, you can always bring it to the UN, and they will look. They have lawyers. They have decision makers. They will go cross-examine whatever you're bringing in, and then take decision. And when it comes to giving sanction, they have to will. But why is it that somebody will just and the United Nations will just be we condemn, and no action is being taken? Why why should it be like that? Why why is it like that? I thought it was set up to 10. This is not supposed to be. If the organization called was a very effective, efficient when it comes to international relations, when it comes to regulating activities of countries of the world, if it was very effective. I understand, they have five members, permanent members of the Security Council, and the United States is one of it, and I call it a chief financier of that organization. But the fact that you're financing, the fact that you're a big supporter of our organization shouldn't mean you should just do anyhow you like. Sanctions should be put in place. Task. Because if the essence of law, okay, is to curb crimes, isn't it? The essence of law is to curb crimes. And when it comes to the United Nations, the United Nations Charter is like the guidebook, the principle book, the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran of international relations, of state relations with each other. Okay, and different things have been stated there. You're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this. When it comes to this, you're not supposed to, states are not supposed to do this, countries are not supposed to do this, and if you do this, this is going to be the consequences. How come those things are not affected? Because it will stop others from, it will be like a deterrence or deter other countries from doing such. How come? I've said it again. I said this trend that the President of America is setting is not a good one, because it's a trend where powerful nations will always try to like do whatever they like and go scot-free without, because nobody's going to hold them accountable. Nobody's going to question them. Already they are very powerful and they are major financiers of the organization, so you're not going to question. If you question me, I'll withdraw my support, that kind of thing. But I still believe the reason why the United Nations was set up was to regulate how states relate with each other. And to that effect, it should function. To that effect, the United Nations should function. Regardless if you're a powerful country, regardless if you're less powerful, if you're a third world country like where I am from. Everybody, what's good for the, how they put it, what is good for the goose should equally be good for the gander. I've kept mentioning Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor was saying there was this, is this what they call it, war that was fought in Liberia during his reign as a president, and after everything was tried in the International Criminal Court, he was found guilty and convicted of war crimes. As a matter of fact, Charles Taylor is no longer in his house. He's still, I don't know if he's dead anyway, because I've not checked. But I know he saved his time. He has been incarcerated many years ago. He paid, the ultimate price for his sins, for encouraging war, for killings of people that were supposed to be killed under his regime. So what's good for the goose should equally be good for the gander. That's my preaching today. What's good for the, it shouldn't just be for war criminals. Shouldn't just be for only third world leaders. It should equally be for the powerful nations of the earth. To their leaders too, that are messing up, that are responsible, that are encouraging war, that are killing people when they're not supposed to. I mean, if you go to the internet, you see a lot of Americans on the streets. A lot of Americans on the street, homeless. Homeless. Imagine in a cold winter night, you're sleeping on the streets. No help, nothing. You beg to eat. And most of them are into, when it's like that, depression. They don't have a strong mental state like we Africans. We can move a week without money in the pocket. We won't fall depressed, because we always have this relative thing, like we in Africa exist in kind of manner, call it extended family kind of setting, in which if you lack, I can always go to call my uncle for help. Or if I don't have a home or a roof over my head, I can always call my people, my aunts, my uncles. That's how we live here, and it's been very helpful. Unlike you guys, you're very independent. We don't, that doesn't mean we're independent. We're independent as well. But when it comes to the darkest moments, we can always reach out to family members, extended family, not just our immediate family members, our extended family members for help, and they come helping. Said says, are you still single? Are you looking for a wife? So it's not like that. So we have people on the street, especially the black community in America, they're like, most of them, most of the families know, as a result of too much of incarceration of their fathers. Most of the families, black African American families, you don't have a figurehead as a father because he's been. And you still have, I don't know. Why don't you try to, all the money spent, billions spent every fucking day in this, why can't you channel it to building affordable housing for these people on the street? Why can't you channel that money into the healthcare system? Why can't you channel that money into things that will make the lives of your people more better? I know Americans are, they're rich, but why can't you channel those things? We have people that are in the country that are not doing very well. Why can't you, even if it's giving business grants to them, or even if you're dashing them, like dash, give to them, do handouts to them, they will always remember, oh, once upon a time when this president was the king of our land, this is the benefits. He helped my life. He helped my generation. Don't forget, once one person is being helped, if it's a reasonable person, by extension, you're helping his lineage. You're helping his people. You're helping him. And it will lead to, call it, what they call it proliferation of wealth. It will extend, it will expand, and it will make America, you want MAGA, America great again. What wouldn't make America great again? It's very disastrous. It's very, very disastrous. They're still asking for how many billions to be pumped into the into departments of war or into the security, call it ministry of the United States, after all of what is happening. This will have really exposed, call it, opened the eyes of, make America look like a weak country. But I know it's not a weak country. It has really made America look, because before now, it used to be like, there's this, somebody said something that when Nigeria sneezes, other African countries catches cold. It was like that before. It used to be like, with America sneezes, the whole world catches cold. But I don't think it's like that before. It's like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. If America sneezes now, with what is going on, with the kind of action, or call it retaliatory attacks or retaliatory defense Iran have put up, if America sneezes, other countries will be like, who is that? You, America. That Iran almost... Are you getting what I mean? The respect, the value, oh my God, I mean, it's America, is not really, it's not there that much. Probably it will come back. Probably it will come back, guys. It will come back maybe in the new, if this, I'm not praying for the regime change. I pray it finishes its time, but probably when the next government comes in. If America sneezes now, Russia will be like, oh, it's America now. Like the fear by other countries that are equally very good in militarily is not really there anymore. I must tell you guys, it's not really there anymore, because of the kind of thing that have been happening these past 2 weeks, going on 3. I'm just praying, because like they say, or the adage says, when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. So this what is going on. Nobody, I didn't initiate it. I didn't even know it was gonna happen. Most people like me never knew it's gonna happen, but it just happened. And it is us that never knew what's going to happen, that weren't there on the decision table for this destruction to come, are the ones suffering. I just pray that an end, an end to this war comes very soon, because if it goes on into a month or even more, I don't know what is going to become of people. I remember the first I made on this very Iranian, Israel and the US war. I said, I gave different consequences are going to follow this war. I mentioned economic, and that one, it was very fast, because we know when it comes to war, if maybe you had a store somewhere, you're doing your business and your business is being disrupted, definitely you will shut it down. And if the roads that you go to buy and sell your own goods is being blocked as a result of war, definitely you can't go there anymore. If they're throwing bombs on your farm, like whatever, and as a matter of fact, your crops in the farm is going to get destroyed, and hunger will set in. It will lead to, call it, malnutrition and every other refugee issues. People be moving from one way to a place to the other, trying to find a good living, trying to make sure they live fine, they leave the war-torn areas, making them refugees, making them displaced from their homes, and they were even part of whatever decision that was taken for the war to begin. It's so unfortunate, guys. I will say again, please, if you have an uncle, you have an aunt, you have anybody that is in position of authority, that in your country's position of authority, and it's a policy maker when it comes to, in your country, please. Or if you're even watching me and you're in such position, make sure, please, whenever there is conflict, your country is in conflict with another, or even within, call it intra kind of conflict in your country, war should be the least. War should be the list of options when it comes to conflict resolution. Because sometimes I know you can use war to bring peace, but still it bears misfortune. War bears misfortune. It will always bring disasters. It will always bring regret. It will bring killings, bloodbath, things that, and at the end of the day, you just weigh it. Was it worth it? You see that the disadvantage of going to war outweighs the advantage. So the topic for today was just why it is not a good idea for foreign forces to invade Iran. And I've told you guys that geographically Iran is of the advantage because of what? Terrain. Their geography favors them. It's a very vast and big country surrounded by mountains in the north and the west, and these mountains runs between, call it, 100 to 1,000 kilometers, and they're very high. So for you to want to drop as a foreign force, you want to land or invade through the north, you have an obstacle to face, which are the mountains. And don't forget that these mountains, all right, they have some military bases in them, Iranian military bases. So there's no how you would drop and you wouldn't face call it battle, not just with nature, but with the forces. They know their terrain very well. So you want to go to the south where they have these narrow water routes, like the Straits of Hormuz, like they've closed. So you risk being cajoled into passing through where they will get you. So it's not there. You want to go through, maybe you want to invade through the central part, call it the middle part of the country, which is solely desert area. You know how hot it is. So if you're from a country that you don't have such weather condition or such terrain, it will be very difficult for you to survive All right, it will be very difficult for you to survive because the desert, as you know, is very hot and sunny. Vehicular movement might just be a little bit because of the sand. It will be difficult, as well it will affect supplies, military supplies to your troops. And moving in large number of army is not possible. It's nearly impossible. I'm not saying invading won't be possible. It is possible, but it's very risky for the invading forces. So please, I beg you guys, whoever that is responsible for decision making, or whoever that can pull the string for this war to end, should do that. Immediate effect. It's getting messier by the day. It's getting out of hand, out of control. As a matter of fact, I don't think America has control over this war anymore. Obviously, America have lost control because the aim was to remove the supreme leader of Iran and then install a new leader, which wasn't achieved. It wasn't achieved. As a matter of fact, the Iranian regime have installed their own, replaced Ayatollah with the son, the second son, Muttaba, and the Islamic regime is still continuing. The effect, or another effect I would say, of this war is going to be, apart from the economic disasters we're facing, or the difficulty we're facing right now, there's going to be rise. I've said it again, rise in terrorism. Even a blind man that, because these people, all right, when it comes to this religion, they are very full, they are very loyal. They believe that if they die in the course of fighting, okay, for their religion, or fighting to represent their religion, okay, they are automatically going to paradise. So in a way, I see this war as a religious war. So it's not going to be easy for you to complicate. They're not afraid to die. That's number one. They are not afraid to die. So you want to kill them? Who kill? You kill this one, they will replace another person. So definitely there's going to be rise in calling the next 2, 3, 4 years, because of this war. There's going to be subgroups of terrorists. All right, they will just be forming themselves, fighting all in the name of fighting for God, which I know God is not sending them. It's just ignorance, and it's as a result of wrong decision that is being taken by our leaders. Please, whenever you want to make decision when it comes to conflict resolution, let war, let attack, let militarization be the last thing. Let it be the last thing. I hope I pronounce that word. Sometimes English is difficult for me, guys. Sometimes I'm trying my best. So all those big words sometimes they're difficult for me to pronounce, but I'm trying my best. So thing to venture into. Obviously, we've seen countries being attacked. Countries that were even, we're supposed to be in this war are now in this war. We've seen countries like Qatar. We've seen countries like Saudi Arabia being affected. As a matter of fact, I think somebody from Saudi Arabia came. One of the officials was like, they allowed the United States to have military bases in the Gulf region because of Iran, because they had believed that, at some point America will come help them when they need, or probably when Iran, because everybody sees Iran as, an enemy in that region. Iran wants to expand its territory. That's the gist. So they allowed you to come put up your military bases, so that in rainy days you come out to be a shelter for me. But when the rainy day came, you were not there for me. You were not there for my brothers as well. So they're really disappointed. And as a matter of fact, from what I'm reading, which I don't know if it's true, they're trying to countries in the Middle East are coming together to form their own, what I would call NATO. their own security thing, that independent security, call it association, that they can always when it comes to war, when it comes to defense, they can always mobilize themselves as brothers and then fight any enemy. Just the call it the neglect they faced when they actually needed the United States, when Iran retaliated at their military bases and as well their country's assets. They didn't get the help they expected from the United States, and they are very disappointed and angry. So it's unfortunate, people that never had a hand or didn't know anything, have a hand or call it contribution or put a quarter into this, who are being affected. And their assets as well is being affected, their economy is affected, their people are getting killed, their economic, call it stronghold, economic things that have been keeping them, making them look wealthy, is being destroyed as a result of a nasty decision that was taken to go to war with Iran. I talked about if Iran is winning this war. Well, I wouldn't say any party, warring party, is winning this war. Nobody's winning. Nobody wins when people are being killed. Nobody wins when people are dying. Nobody wins when people are suffering. But I would say that I really tried. Tried in the sense that what we actually expected at the commencement of this war, we thought, okay, they're going to eliminate as they eliminated their supreme head, definitely they're coming to like install somebody and take over the country like they did in Venezuela. But the speed and the so guys, I don't know what's up with my talk. My network is just dropping me. So guys, I don't know what's up with my talk. My network is just dropping me. My network is dropping me. It's unfortunate. Let's just say no to bullying. Bullying is not good. What we're saying is an act of bullying, which is not good. You might just be a bully, and one day the one you bully will turn out to be the one to disgrace you publicly. So if you're a bully, if you're in school, you bully people, don't act like what President Trump is doing, bullying every world leader, bullying countries, doing even having the guts to tell they can invade Cuba and do whatever he likes with Cuba. Don't be like that. No world, no leader should be like that. I say again, I've said it over and over again, whatever work you're doing, whatever is your job, if you're a policeman, you're a military person, a law enforcement, yes, you have the gun, you have the authority to arrest, you have the power to take decision or even put people in prison or not to put people in prison. Make sure whatever decision whatever job you're doing, let your conscience, have a conscience, let your conscience guide you. All right, let your conscience guide you. Still have that humanity in you when you want to relate to people. Because if you have that humanity in you, definitely you will never grow with uncontrollable wings that you can do whatever you like. Your conscience guide you. So guys, I'm almost rounding up. So I touched why it's a little bit, it will be difficult, okay? It's not a good idea to invade Iran. Don't go on land. Don't send your armies to go down there to fight, because it's not a good idea. The terrain will favor the forces much more than the invading forces, because the environment is like a natural fortress. The Iranian environment is like a natural fortress. They have mountains, they have desert, they have this network. Really, I don't know why it's fluctuating. I hope they're not coming. I'm trying to say that if you're a leader, you might be a leader, maybe not of a country, probably a business place or a corporate environment, a corporate organization, or even your house. You want to take major decision, you want to do anything. What you have to do is, especially when you know that this decision is going to be hitting somebody in a bad way, probably it's your ego or something. Put yourself in that person's shoe. And when you put yourself in that person's shoe, ask yourself, if I was a person, or if I am in this shoe and somebody does this to me, how will I feel? Whatever answer you get should be able to guide your decision taking. It should be able to guide you on how to take that decision. It should be able to guide you on how to get about whatever you want to do. All right. So, on that note, I want to end this live stream. I wanted it to be very interactive, but I've been doing all the talking. So, I've been here for like an hour and 15 minutes, 49 seconds. So, I really want to appreciate every single soul that's tuning.
TikToker.
No.
I listed one bottle.
Okay. I'm done, sir. So, sorry.
Talk about. No, no, just yet.
So make sure that whatever I'm about going, guys. So take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. For people that tune in today, even though you've not said anything, even though you've not given me likes, I appreciate you guys. Till you next time, let's talk about something else. I'm done with talking about war, but I just hope this war will come to an end. It's my prayer, my earnest prayer, that this war that is going on in the Middle East will come to an end. So thank you so much for tuning in, and from here, bye bye.